Welcome to the GUS Real Estate Page Training Module presented by the USDA Single Family Housing Guaranteed Loan Program. Let's review the training objectives for the GUS Real Estate Page Training Module. By the end of this module, the user should have an understanding of how to complete the real estate page in GUS, an understanding of how to add new properties to the loan application, and an understanding of how to add mortgages to owned properties. The Real Estate tab allows users to add owned properties as well as current mortgages on those properties to the loan application. To add a new property, the user should follow the following steps. First, select Add Property. Next, choose the account owner borrower name from the drop-down. If applicable, the user will select Subject Property of the loan checkbox. Next, the user will complete address information, including the street address, unit number if applicable, city, state, and zip code. Then enter the property value, status, intended occupancy, and monthly insurance, taxes, and association dues, etc. If the property type is investment, complete the income-related fields. Next, we will cover the status field and intended occupancy in more detail. On the real estate records screen, it is important to correctly categorize the status field. There are three options available for the status. The first option is sold. This option should be selected when a property has recently been sold. The next option is pending sale. This option should be selected for a property that is currently under contract for sale. The third option is retained. This option should be used when a property will continue to be retained by the borrowers after the subject loan has closed. It can also be used if the subject loan is a refinance or the property is listed but not yet under contract for sale. Please note that if retained is selected, the intended occupancy field will display. We'll cover that information on the next page. If the value selected in the status field is retained, the user will have to select what the borrower's intended occupancy will be. The user will have three choices to select from: investment, primary residence, or second home. If investment is selected, the section for investment property only will become editable, and the user must complete the fields monthly rental income. GUS will take the value in the monthly rental income field and calculate a value for the GUS calculated net monthly income field. If the lender feels that there should be a different value from the GUS calculation for monthly rental income, the lender can enter their own calculated income in the For Lender to Calculate Net Monthly Rental Income field. Important note for repayment income for rent received less than 24 months. When this situation arises, the user should enter 0 for monthly rental income. Next, ensure that there's no value populated in the For Lender to Calculate Net Monthly Rental Income field. A 0 is not acceptable. Next, enter the amount of the monthly mortgage payment due in the monthly mortgage payment field. And when the expenses are not already included in the monthly mortgage payment amount, populate the monthly insurance, taxes, association dues, etc. field. Users can add one or more mortgages to each property entered in GUS. When users select Add Mortgage, an extra section called Mortgage Loans on this property will display on the screen, which we will cover on the next slide. Here we see the fields that must be completed when Add Mortgage is selected. Users need to complete creditor name, account number, monthly mortgage payment, unpaid balance, and type. For type, users must select between conventional, FHA, USDA RD, VA, or other. If the mortgage will be paid off at or before closing, the user will select that box. If the mortgage needs to be omitted, the user will select the Omit checkbox. That action will open an additional field where the reason for omitting the mortgage must be provided. At the bottom of the mortgage loans on this property section is a summary section which automatically calculates and totals all mortgage payments and all unpaid mortgage balances tied to this property. If users need to add an additional mortgage for the property, they simply select the Add Additional Mortgage button and complete the same fields required previously in the section. They can repeat these steps for any additional mortgages associated to the property. If a mortgage record is added and needs to be deleted, the user can select Remove Mortgage.